just finished 11 days in the Brooks Range. We've been planning this hunt for about a year and a half. Some things fell into place and we got a rare opportunity to explore a new river. Pioneering the river, we knew there'd be logistics that were unforeseen. And mid to late September in the Brooks, we knew weather could be an issue. So we were preparing for a wild hunt. We definitely got everything we asked for in the wildness. But it was a remote river, hard to get access into. We had to get dropped on a lake and drag about 6 miles to get into the river system. And we had a pretty long float to get out to the pickup point here. But it was a really wild adventure, and here's our story. Begun 7-mile death march. Pretty far, just got set up a camp right before dark. First day, saw a little bit of moose sign, but very brutal drag. The first couple miles was pretty brutal. Then we started hitting some low water, and maybe about 3 or 4 miles in, we started getting some trickling stream. So we filled up one of the rafts with air, and we kind of dragged our way down with everything else loaded in it, and Olive and I just dragging it. But we made it almost to the main confluence. Last night it got real cold, clear, so everything froze up a little bit. I don't know if I'm breaking sticks or setting camp, but woke up in the middle of the night, got to see the northern lights at about 2 a.m. It was cold, so slept off and on. We were going to sleep in and just recoup from the drag and float downstream a little bit to find a nicer camp. We woke up to some stomping, opened the tent, and had a nice bull moose standing outside. Great start to the trip. Was a young bull, smaller bull. But yeah, hopefully it's a good sign of must be some old ones in here too. But we were floating down just to get through the braided section of the river, just in case our waters came down and stuff. And we crossed a nice track of a bull. Looks like a decent sized bull. Hard to tell, but you can tell nice impression in the sand. It looks like it was earlier this morning. So we pulled up downriver a little bit, set up camp, and we're going to spend the afternoon just trying to find this guy in here, calling him, see if we can pull something to the river. direction, not really knowing. First step there. Out of our element, I've usually hunted elk, but we gave some cow calls, and this buck caught him off.
Oh, me too, bro. My heart
It came like 100 yards, or like 200 yards down. 50-yard shot, I put it right in the heart, and I doubled up. Wicked bull down. He tried to circle us. I misjudged him. I ranged him at 50, but he went around some trees and into the stream. Hit him a little low, but ended up in the heart. He ran out in the stream, and I had a 65-yard follow-up. Nailed him, and he shot it right here behind camp. We probably got to move our beautiful camp we just set up now, but literally like 10 yards. Just loading up this camp. We're gonna work downstream to a new camp, about 4 or 5 miles. Get away from this car cave. We've got all the meat loaded up and getting cat packed.
Stuck in camp.
Yep. Had that big bull come across last night at last light. I tried to get on it. Just thought it might be bedding up behind camp to respond to the calls in the morning, but weather got nasty last night. We had to get out in the middle of the night and tie the raft to the teepee. We thought the stakes were pulling out of the ground. It was windy. It's been steady rain all morning. We went out there this morning and did a calling setup just to see if that bull was tucked in here, and got a little damp and cold. After about an hour, we tucked it back in and got some messages on the inReach from the pilots and the wives that there's a huge storm out here. So we're gonna read and eat our mountain house, drink coffee, and hope it ends. Oh man, the river came about a foot. Almost lost my meat, had to relocate it. Shuffle things around camp. Texted with the pilot, and he said it's a 50-year storm. It's just to the west of us, and to not take chances with flooding, we were getting pretty nervous. So it was 10 o'clock. I don't know. 10 o'clock at night, we climbed into this flat, found at least 4 feet of elevation from the river. Set up camp, everything's wet. We've had a bag of wood that we've been keeping in a dry bag.
See how good we are here.
Praying the stove works and warm up, and back to the sleeping bag tent life. Second day in the tent all day. The river's still swollen, but the rain looks like it's tapered off and the winds are supposed to die off tonight. We're getting sore from sitting in this tent that we're committing. Tomorrow morning we're loading up, and even if we got to pick our way down slowly, we just got to work our way through and split up the moose meat and see if we can navigate this canyon portion and get into a little bit bigger, wider river, a little bit easier to float, and see if we can continue moose hunting for our last few days and not just be stuck in a tent waiting for the inevitable.
It's been a long run. It's been a long run of waiting.
The rain broke last night. It's cloudy, foggy, but no rain all night. The river's down slightly, but it seems to be lowering at a decent rate, so we're going to chance it this morning. We're loaded up. We're sick of this camp. We're going to try and pick our way downstream to get out of this canyon a little bit and hunt our way down.
The river's so high, there's no gravel bars to camp on. So we're making makeshift camp here in the willows and sand. Looks like a lot of moose in this area though, but river's still raging, kind of dangerous.
Hey! Not quite what we're looking for, but that was wild. He was like 5 yards. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
I was like 15 yards, bro. And I smoked him again, like 18. Bro, was full draw. And he was behind the tree.
Came back into this oxbow and there was a lot of sign on the ground already. We knew there was bull in here. We started working our way up the side of the oxbow and he heard our sticks breaking and he grunted at us. So we stopped, set up a call, shot him at 15 yards. Pretty epic experience. Died in the water is unfortunate, but now the work begins.
Woo!
Bull down.
Moose hunting, tagged out.
We just finished a long evening. We got all the pies bull down, butchered it all up. There's a small little sub channel, super high water, so we were able to drag the raft all the way in there. Got all the meat and we dragged it back upstream into the main channel of the river. It's maybe a couple 100 yards from our camp here. left the raft and all the meat tarped up. So the river came down about 1.5 inches today. It's raining right now, just lightly though. So we're gonna take care of some meat and stuff, and hopefully the river comes down and we're all tagged out, and we're gonna try and shoot this river and just make it out of this canyon safely and head to the pickup point soon here. And we still got about 45 miles to float to get out of here, maybe 50. But the water's moving, shouldn't take us too long. We're gonna tackle the river. Came down about 6 inches. We're loaded up with 2 moose in all of our camp. We got the next 2 miles is the hairiest part of the river, so it's been consuming our mind, but we're gonna pick our way through this and we should be smooth sailing for another 40 miles to the pickup point. Probably 2 days of floating. Hit that rapids a little bit bigger than we thought. We're gonna try and paddle this first one, and there's a little slack water between the next one. If we can get to the bank, we'll try and walk the rafts a little bit there, but hopefully once we get through this, they get easier as they go. But this is a little bit more than we were hoping for. Good thing the water came down 6 inches. Whew.
This is why we were waiting so long for the water to come down.
Now we're boost hunting, not whitewater rafting.
Uncharted river too.
We're alive. We still got meat and bulls on the raft. Alipai's got 1 paddle left, or 1/2 foot paddle. But we made it.
That was some radical stuff.
Got some rapids over the head on a couple, but hallelujah.
Feeling water constantly.
Ooh. We're gonna pull over and pull out all the meat and let it dry out and eat some lunch and just put some hand warmers in my gloves.